did go a little exaggerated.
It is 6 in the morning.
6:02 to be exact, which I believe we said we'd be here at 5:30. Guess which guy was waiting outside the door needing to use the bathroom. 5:30 when he's like, hey, I'm in the shower. I'll unlock the door in a second. So his little energy drink almost took a trip to the woods because I was so pissed about it.
Life happens.
Life happens.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Jeff.
We own businesses.
Just a couple.
Just a couple for now. More plans coming in the future, and this is why we're here. We are here to share our story and maybe inspire the average man to go above and beyond what he thought he was capable of.
Because we are certainly just about average in all aspects. We've had an average life growing up and everything else. And we just imagined reality differently. We imagined a bigger picture for ourselves.
And this started how many years?
Strived for many years to try to succeed.
How many years ago did this journey start?
Oh, about 16, 17 years ago.
16. We've been best friends.
This is the long haul.
This is the long haul.
This is a full throttle too. Full throttle sponsor, please.
He would like to be sponsored.
Yep, didn't prepare for almost spitting out drink today.
So, let's get this show on the road. Basically, this first episode is going to kind of segue into how we got into business. To explain that takes a lot of time, though. As any average Joe knows, life can be difficult and people grow at different rates. You will see how he progressed through life and you will see how I progressed through life. We led very different paths. And our journey started at Maverick Steakhouse.
When we were about 18 years old.
18 years old.
Yeah.
And
we're working as dish boys, the good old life.
I won't go into super detail, but I basically looked at this man and told him he's going to be my best friend.
And let me tell you, when this guy said this, so we're working, and I had worked a few days, and everyone's like, hey, this Andrew kid, he's a loser. He's not shit. Let's stay away from this kid. And me, I was so warped by society, I was like, man, I better stick in. So he's over here telling me all this crap about how he's gonna hang out with me, and I'm just sitting there, you know, like, whatever. As soon as he walks away, I'm fucking just, ha, 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 joke's on you. And then,
But knee slap, the joke was on him.
Yeah. And he mentioned some Dragon Ball Z, and we kind of started hanging out from there.
So as you see, there's nothing fancy or extraordinary about how our story originated. We were nerds. We were controlled by society and how the thought process on how you had to be or cool or not and all that. And we found that we each had a hunger for self-improvement. And when I say a hunger, like an undying, we must do this.
We basically found we had more to life. Like, I always had this, like, imagine, like, when I would lay in bed, I would just, like, fantasize about a legacy, and just being legendary, being remembered by somebody else other than my family, and just have something to pass down at some point. And when you're that young, 18, 19 years old, it's hard to even see past, you know, what you're gonna do next week. You know, we're making minimum wage at a cookhouse, so, you know, you can't see those big pictures, and I just always dreamt that, man, there's gotta be something more. There's definitely gotta be something more.
And we started hustling.
Well, let's get this straight. He started hustling. See, at this point, I was a very complacent man. I was making like $7, $8 an hour. I was living the life.
Now, you were working three jobs at one point.
At one point, but it was my best life.
That's before you kind of
work that minimum wage, stay at my mom's house. That's all I needed.
You shifted gears fast. So I always looked for more money, more improvement. Where can I grow? So I wasn't intelligent. Let me tell you this. I barely had a high school diploma, and so college was out of the picture. Everything that I know is self-taught over years of studying, and we started shifting jobs over and over again.
The main thing about it was connections. You know, we started working together. That was a connection between me and him. We started, working out together. We had this. We both thought we were so big. He was like 150 pounds, 160 pounds. I was a whopping 130 when we met, and we thought we were the biggest, baddest dudes. Because we knew each other, we hit the heavy bag a couple times, started trying to do some lifting. But in our connection, we met a martial arts instructor at a gym randomly, which we'll backtrack to this.
That's a whole story.
This is a whole story.
That's a whole almost episode.
But yeah, we met a martial arts instructor. We started doing martial arts together. We even had our own dojo for a while, teaching kids.
Yeah, that was our first business, was a dojo.
Yep.
I mean, and at that time, our maturity was not there. We actually did rather well with it. And, but that lasted for about 4 months. And I believe I was working midnights at the time. I don't know if you were.
I started working midnights at Walmart at that time.
And it was managing a dojo and midnights. You have to be a very disciplined person.
And be up almost 24 hours.
Not this guy. I was not disciplined. Those are skills that I learned later in life. And so that fell through. Well, it didn't fall through. We literally quit it. Like, when I say it was successful, we had 30 to 40 students in the first month. I mean, we were running a very successful business. But we just, it wasn't our time. So we passed it on, and we took the conventional route of being in the workforce. And so we looked for better paying jobs, and we fell into that trap, and it's a trap.
We looked for prestige and money at the same time, because we kind of used everything we've done as a stepping stone. We went from a steakhouse to working at Walmart, and then he got on to Coca-Cola, then pulled me on to Coca-Cola, and then I eventually promoted through the company, had a cushy job that guys kill for, worked their asses off to get and keep, and I was an account manager. I was the youngest one at the time, and I wasn't happy with it.
Because we were, what, 23 at that time?
Yeah, 23, 24. And then this is funny, because I'm in a store, a little convenience store in a crap town that I hate, dealing with a crap manager that I hate, and she's just chewing my ass about stuff that I can't control. She's having a bad day, whatever. And he calls me, and I'm like, what's up?
Opportunity came a knocking.
He says, hey, there's a guy that our old instructor hooked me up with, said he can get you guys a job making $20, almost $20 an hour, doing burying cable. And I laughed, and he explained it a little more. I still laughed, but then just a little more nudging, and she's over there griping at me because I'm on the phone. I was like, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Because I was done. I was done at that point. I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to make my own money, my own way. And that's what we decided.
where we became self-proprietors. Okay, your first step of business. And again, though, we were probably 24. I was 24 at this time. That did not go. Hard work was not my forte at that time. So you have to understand, the reason that we're doing this is because you may be a loser now, but you have no idea what you're capable of in 5 years. You can awaken into many different avenues in your life. And I had to go a very difficult road to grow up enough to have a work ethic or develop a work ethic.
The road he's taking is a road I didn't have to take because I grew up.
He was blessed with it.
I grew up with that kind of
discipline,
a structure.
Yeah.
I had a military family, so I knew hard work. I knew, time schedules. Self-discipline's not a huge thing for me. That's just always been there.
It's easy.
So hard work, self-discipline, always been able to do it. You tell me to do it, it's done. That's kind of how it's been. And he's kind of had to adopt some of my lifestyle to get to that point.
You were merely born in it. But I went to the prison. I didn't go to prison. I started working at a prison. Correctional officer. That is probably, with a person that has just a high school diploma, it's probably the most prestigious job that an average person can get. You've got all your benefits. I think I made $65,000 my first year with overtime. I had thought I had made it. I was destined to be nothing as I had thought. And at that point, I was like, oh, wow, I've got one of the best jobs you can get. I've made it. Fast forward I would say 2.5 years, and that negative environment just ate me alive. And I was like, this cannot be life. Like, this is, I looked at all these people retiring, and they were miserable fucks. I'm just going to say fucks. Just horrible, like, attitudes, just, and I was like, this cannot be. Well, he stuck in the berry path as I had left the underground world.
See, I found a stride.
And we have to kind of explain what this job is, the underground world.
Yeah, we'll explain a little bit. But, this is something that this was easy, burying cable. You use a shovel or a vibratory plow, just bury a job, you get paid for that job. And I was getting 10 to 50, or 10 jobs a day, 50 a week, I was making $1,000. And then eventually we got into, different kind of companies. And then I eventually moved to Louisiana for a little while, and I was making quite a bit of money on my own doing it there.
Now, when you say quite a bit of money, let's explain this too, because your work ethic was worth that money. So the business that he was running he was the service. The harder he worked,
the more I got paid.
The more he got paid.
So, like, for instance...
So the pay wasn't necessarily good.
I mean, it was, at the point, it was $35 per job.
Per job.
And you could either do 10 jobs a week, which would get you $350, or you can do what I did and do 10 jobs a day, 50 a week, make over $1,500 a week. And that's what I did. I was consistent with that in Louisiana.
And how did that work out for you? How did it affect your account? How nice was that?
It was nice. I had a big cushion.
A big cushion.
For a while, a big cushion.
We'll get into the life events that took that away later on down the road in another episode. But at his age, he probably had more money in the bank than, like, in liquid, than, I would say, 95% of America.
It took, I think, a year and a half, and I was sitting on about 20 grand in the account.
and just sitting.
Just sitting.
Not being intelligent with it.
I didn't know anything about investments or how to make that grow. I just sat there.
God, you should have moved that money so fast. So fast.
Long story short, a divorce happened. And
divorce.
There it went.
Gone. So I had been, we have another friend, his name is Matt, and he had been chirping in my ear about much better paying underground work. And that's what kind of killed me off of it was the work ethic worth the pay we were getting when we originally started? Because we were getting $20 at Barry. And that in the Barry world is probably the lowest of the low. That's some bones. Okay, so I found, Matt found, and said, hey, you should come do this. I originally started it as a side hustle because I pay massive amounts of child support. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not a guy that complains about it. I'm actually okay with it. It takes care of my kids. It's fine. But I pay a lot. I pay $1,000, $1,100, somewhere, $1,100 a month in child support. And so I wanted to make some side money. Something I necessarily wouldn't be super traceable. Okay, I was already paying this large amount of money. I was like, I need to recoup some of this money. So I didn't have a lot of money at the time, and I took all of my tax refund, and I mean everything that I had. I bought a 1995 Ford F-150, and it leaked oil constantly.
It's terrible.
It leaned to one side.
Yup.
And but it ran. It got the job done. And that's where I started to build my steam. And I started talking to Jeff, and I was like, we're basically already in business. Why not go into business together?
Yeah, he was starting his own thing back in Illinois, and I was transitioning back to Illinois. And I didn't want to do the work that was offered to me in Illinois. So partnering with him and this other company kind of seemed like a good idea because they had a smorgasbord of work for me and all this other stuff. And I mean, ultimately took a year and a half of convincing, and we finally merged together.
I planned this out for literally.
We started our own company together.
A year and a half it took to get all the pieces, and this is a relatively easy business to start.
It is. It was more or less me fighting back against it, and to actually get once I signed on and was like, yeah, let's do it. It took a couple months to get all the paperwork and everything, taxes, all that crap, and just
going through the state.
We were ready to go.
But we had lessons to learn. It wasn't an easy. It was not an easy road, and we'll get into in other segments the mental health and being a business owner. I don't see anything about that because it is not easy when you are fully dependent on yourself. We don't get any of the money that we get does not come from anybody else but what we generate. Mm-hmm. So we have no security blanket. If we don't produce, we don't eat. So that is that's probably one of the greatest experiences we've had, honestly, because it causes a hunger.
Responsible.
Yes.
And when we joined forces, the workload was quite a bit, and he wasn't keeping up with it as well without me. So he needed to drop his prison job, and I
got to a point to where I was like, okay, I really need to commit to this. Like, this is something I feel like I'm destined to do. And that's an important part that you guys all need to understand. Like, if you feel a calling, you've got to take the leap.
He sacrificed a salary-paying job, all of the benefits in the world. But
all
listen,
of them.
even now, money and all that isn't everything. If you're miserable, like this job is stressful. What we do every day is stressful, but we are living the best of our lives right now. But because we have more freedoms, we have just more energy to do everything. We have, you know,
it allows us
we're
to
setting
grow.
ourselves up, too, for a better life.
There's growth at every turn that we've taken, and that is an amazing feeling. And that's something that people aren't going to understand. You know, we dig in the dirt, and we're really good at what we do now. Like, we have come so far. I would say I had the greatest transformation of anybody, because
he's practically done a 180 in the industry.
I'm telling you that
his chart kind of planed for a while, then peaked up, where mine just kind of gradually just went up as we go.
The difference of person by person. And this is why we're doing this. Like, we know for a fact we have information that can help the average person excel in life. And it's all dependent on you, no one else. And that's what we learned. This journey was self-growth. Every turn we took, every weight that we lifted, every move that we learned in martial arts, all the campaigning with senators and whatnot, all the cool little things that we did in the pursuit of growth and self-improvement. And
another thing with trying to do something on your own, for instance, like when I was with Coca-Cola and having, like, it was almost like him in the prison. He had a cushy job, I had a cushy job. I quit mine, went full force on this. My mom was, you know, dogging on me. My girlfriend at the time dogged on me. Everybody was telling me that this is a bad idea, you're gonna fail. And there were times where I was down and out. Like, the winters sucked. I didn't know what I was gonna do, but I made it work.
They still suck.
They still suck, yeah. But we made it work. We know what to accommodate for.
Especially now.
And it's just funny, you know, you get these haters telling you that, hey, this is a bad idea, but if you believe in yourself, like I believed that I could do it, and I'm still doing it. My mom lost 2 jobs in the process that were safe, you know, quote unquote. And it's just, she'd been at the same job for 15 years and got canned, was at a new job, got canned, you know, so it's just, there's no safety in the world.
There's none. There is no safety net, no job. Like, take Rona, for instance. Do you know how many businesses have tanked? And weirdly enough, we've flourished in this time. We have when we get anything that is an obstacle put in front of us, we tend to really kick it into gear and excel. That's been our life. We've been under pressure for so long that we're so accustomed to it that it's actually beneficial to us to be under pressure at this point. And with the prison, I didn't get a step raise for almost 4 years because of politics. There was nothing there. There wasn't anything spectacular. Like, and let me say this. If I would have stayed at the prison, how big is my house, Jeff?
This one?
This one.
2K square foot, something like that.
It's about 2,700 feet. I guarantee, I know for a fact that I would not be living in a house like this, which you don't know my house. Maybe I'll give you a tour sometime. But I'm pretty proud of it. And if I had stayed at the prison and not went out and pursued my dreams, it wouldn't happen. Same with your house.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
the best part about this journey for me, like, I've always been playing it safe, and taking the step to do something that changed my life completely was not only just a change in that aspect, but it was a change in my mentality. It showed me that I can do much more than I ever thought. there's not a time. I mean, there are some times, but there's not a lot of times where I think, oh, this is not going to happen. This is impossible. Because I know it's possible. You just gotta fucking do it.
But let's reel it back. There were times when we thought it was impossible, or that it got so tough that stuff was really bad. Like really, really bad. Like really, 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 really bad. And we didn't think we were gonna make it through. And I promise you this. It took us being as strong as we are and as prepared as we are to actually make it through. I would bet money that 99% of the people out there, you viewing, you would give it up in a heartbeat if you had went through half the stuff we went through in our first business. And now we're dealing with a second business, and it's being held back due to the virus. But that's okay, because the way we have our system, and we're going to get into that, why our system works. How much money have I invested into any of my businesses?
I don't know.
Zero! Nothing! Zero! No money! I have manifested money. Every time that I come out with this, did I not just persuade you to do something really interesting maybe 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Okay. This is how it works. I see something, Ariana Grande. I see it. I want it. I got it. Okay. That's how it works. Literally. You know people. You structure your Rolodex with people that have more than you. You get good enough to, when you ask for money or cash a check, you got that work in the bank. You're dependable. They know that this is what they're going to get from you. Your work ethic is everything when you have nothing, let me tell you. And now we won't talk about business number 3 yet, but it's coming. And we have, I would say, 70% of it now. 70% of another business to launch. We haven't even fully launched our second business. And that's the thing, that goes into timing and whatnot, where people are terrified right now to do anything. You should be doing everything, all of it.
I mean, that's kind of where we realized that because we transitioned from just burying cable to doing boring, horizontal drilling, for cable, internet providers, all that stuff. And it's a much steadier line of work. We can do it throughout the winter. We have a couple guys that work with us too, and the guy that I used to bury for is the guy that provides us the machinery to do all this, and we've been doing this just fine. And then we saw an opportunity to take over a slop parlor, and
we decided to make a legacy.
Legacy Slots.
It is called Legacy Slots.
But this benefactor wanted to help us out, and we all 3 went in and started to, try to open a second business, which can't happen yet because of the COVID. But
we're right there.
And
literally
that'll
right
be just
there.
a small little supplemental income. You got to have some passive income. That's going to be something that's going to run itself, and we're going to try to let that run its course while we're full steam ahead on this project that we're doing right now with the underground.
And I mean, that's the thing. When we wanted to start this while we were just getting started. We wanted to have enough clout in the business game to say we're 100% making it, but not so much to where we're hiring everything out. We're doing everything ourselves still at this point.
And learning as we go, too.
And learning as we go. And that's why I want to say, when you see if you see anybody on YouTube or you see anybody on, TV or whatnot that own businesses, they do not, I promise you, do everything themselves. They hire it out. Time is money. Okay? Right now, our time is money. We have to do everything or it'll cost us money.
Yeah.
So, we live a very comfortable life right now. Like, we have mastered the dollar and made it stretch, and we know, I would say, every inside and outside of the way a dollar works. And so that is basically what we're doing with teaching you that you can do this. And we're going to go through our stories. We'll go through our businesses in depth. We'll go through the steps to it. You'll get into fitness with us. He has a fitness channel.
Very small.
Very small.
Just spurt of the moment thing. I said, hey, why not just take another opportunity and try to delve. You can never have too many, hands in the pots or the
fingers in the fire.
Fingers in the too many pans in the oven, too many fingers in the holes. Oh no. You can never have too much. Is all I know.
This is what we're doing with this. This is another way to generate income. Now, there'll be people, I'm sure, out there, who are these orange and yellow?
Well, we're going to go to work here in about 15 minutes.
We're going to go make money. And very quick money. How we generate revenue very quickly.
We spend money very quickly.
That's also, but that's the amazing thing. You're going to have your haters out there.
We had a YouTube fitness channel before, and we were actually accumulating a little following, but we were trying to do the video cameras in the gym, and granted, we were kind of dumb, came off as a little douchey probably, but nothing was we weren't in your face about nothing. We were doing our own thing, just leave us alone, let's do our thing, and
right.
we had so many people bashing on us for that, but that was a time where we kind of cared about that stuff, If we would have kept going with it, I think we might have blown up a little bit. We had a lot of funny things on there. We were, getting 1,000 views at times, and we gave it up. We even quit the gym because we were getting scrutinized for everything we did. So
now we don't care. So
that's ultimately what it is. If for me, if I post a video on Facebook or YouTube, I would be I feel self-conscious because I don't want to be that guy that does that.
The eye of the tiger.
Yep, there was an eye of the tiger. But I just don't care anymore because it's if you either like it or you don't.
Right.
But I'm gonna do it anyway because it makes me feel good, it makes me happy, and it can progress my future and our future, and that's just something like this.
Your
podcast.
family's future.
We've never done anything like this before in our life. This is our first day, numero uno, episode 1,
and it will progress.
It'll get better. It'll progress. We'll have better. We'll fucking headsets, microphones,
the whole Joe Rogan.
Yeah, Joe Rogan will be sitting next to us eventually.
Eventually.
But you gotta start somewhere, and this is kind of the big premise of this entire episode. You just gotta go.
You gotta do it.
And when you're scared to do something, that means
scared to be judged.
You gotta do it, because that's you're only gonna grow with adversity and conflict and restraint. I can sit there and bench a 45-pound bar all day till the cows come home. Put some 45s on there. It's a little harder, but I know I can. I can do 300 a few times, and that's where I get stronger. You got to push yourself to the limit, and that's kind of what we've been doing the whole time.
Lives,
we run to a wall, we face it, we push through it, and that's kind of what we just need to do. Everybody.
It's what you need to do, and it's all about keeping it positive too, because I don't have the time to go be like, look at that loser there on the internet post. Like, I don't have time to do that. I'm trying to be constructive in my life. I'm trying to move my life forward. I have no time for negativity. Like, that's the whole thing. People that are negative, they're really upset with life. Like, period, the end. And I can guarantee you we're not upset with life. We're doing everything in our power to...
We have our days where we're a little
human,
more down.
yeah.
But, in a grand scheme of things, we're fine.
But, like,
we're
spiteful or hatefulness?
No.
Fuck. No. Like, no time for that.
We left that behind. That's all baggage. That's distractions that you don't need. And like even when I've mentioned doing a little podcast segment, I still got backlash from friends and family and loved ones that are just like, who's gonna listen to you guys? Well, maybe fucking nobody. I mean, that's fine. But maybe one.
One.
That's all we need.
And that's all I'm searching for is maybe taking
listen,
one person.
He's watched so many inspirational videos all day. But he's found people to listen to. That's fine. But for me, I'll look around. I don't, watch a whole lot of videos like he does, but every now and then I'll find a lone, wolf, hiding in the shadows there on YouTube, and I'm like, man, that guy really helped me out.
You don't know me, son.
Goggins too, yeah. But it just, I only needed that one video that day to, just kind of like put things in perspective. And sometimes you just need to hear it from other people or see, average people doing it. And that's like the best thing about what we're trying to do. We are so average and we're making it work.
Yes. We are going above. This is the thing. You can look back and we'll explain everything in grave detail. You will learn how average we really were. You'll hear about the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You'll hear about the Vegeta tattoo on my chest. And then you'll hear about, this third business that's coming. And literally a month you'll be on a tour of Legacy and see what the work we have put into it.
You have to realize, man, I was this tiny little thin kid that played WoW for 8 years straight. Didn't leave my
World
house.
of Warcraft, for anybody that doesn't know.
I still play it a little bit. I still game a little bit. Just, you gotta micro it down a little bit. You gotta manage your time. You gotta see what's your priorities. What's more important. Is your family important? Yes. Providing, but what's more important, your family or providing for the family? And that's just one of those things, I have to provide for the family no matter what. So my work's going to come first, and they're going to reap the benefits more than I will. And that's just kind of how I live. And, then, entertainment, hobbies, games, just stuff like that. Gym is one of my all-time things. I got, money, business, family, gym.
See, you can see organization. I am not like that. I have to have 3 things. If I have more than 3 things, I'm a mess. And those are my weaknesses, and I have learned my weaknesses. I've trained myself to be in control of what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, and why I'm doing it. And that way there's no confusion. There's no, there's no mishaps. No more mishaps in life. So this is the beginning. This is where we're going to take you on a journey. We're going to show you every step to be successful. And it's coming from people, if you own a business, great. If you don't own a business, if you're miserable, if you work at a bank, none of these things are bad, by the way. We're not knocking this. We're just saying, if you are upset in life, if you think you have more in you, or if you have been torn down by life and been called a loser and all these things, we're going to take you on a journey. We're going to pump you up. We're going to motivate you. And you're
going to follow us in our own journey too.
So you'll get to see mistakes.
If we fail, you're going to see it too. It's just a grand old time now.
I mean, there is failure, but
there's a lot of failure. But you got to push through.
But there's no failure. Like, if that makes sense. I almost cramped. So that's the whole scheme of this, is you get to see us make mistakes. You'll hear about our mistakes. If you wanted to start a business like we have, we can help. We can talk to you. We can put you in contact with certain things, or what you step-by-step processes. And that's what I want to get back. You know, I didn't do all this for money. I didn't do all this for clout. It's nice because eventually I'm going to take the faces of everybody that judged me, and they're going in a big shit pie rubbed in. That's nice, but that's not everything. And I really, once you start on this journey, stuff like that becomes trivial. That's negativity, you know, and so that's a facet of it, but it's really nothing. The main thing is your self-improvement, watching us self-improve,
and there'll be some parts where we're gonna just bullshit. You know, we'll talk about, you know, any kind of topics, you know, that's going on, our own opinions. Me and him, I mean, we're very similar, but we have different takes on certain things. You'll also see some
interviews,
nose spitting. Your drink will flout your mouth and your nose because there will be some stories that we got.
We'll be uploading clips throughout the last 15 years, and you will get to see our friendship and whatnot.
Oh,
and that's an important thing.
We're going to tell all the stories.
You know, that friendship in business is, you know, that's a whole podcast in itself too.
I mean, we don't take everything so seriously.
No,
like not even close.
I mean, there's been, you know, with us working together, we are such an intricate working machine together, and have been for so long, that we work well in business. So don't be afraid to get into business with a friend, but I would say know them entirely. There's certain people that we will not go into business with. And
also know when you set a time, expect that time to be late and have to hold a poop for 15 minutes.
It happens in life, guys. We're only human. So we're gonna start wrapping this up.
Yeah, we got
money to make.
As you can see, it's daylight out now. That means it's time to start making money, because I mean, I sacrificed 3.5 hours of sleep to come out here to do this goddamn video, so we're trying to make it work.
But cool things on the way. We got interviews with very successful people, and they're not going to be famous. I don't think we know any famous people,
no, but they're rich.
They're very rich and
knowledgeable.
Knowledgeable. That is the thing. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is money. All you got to do is learn it. So we're going to go make some money. You're going to see workout videos. You're going to see everything. And you're going on a journey with us. And hate is going to hate. But I'm going to make a lot of money. So bye-bye, guys. Until next time.